What if the most dangerous weapon ever made wasn't a bomb or a poison, but a book? There are books out there filled with ideas so powerful, so world-shattering, that governments have banned them and people have risked their very lives just to read them. These aren't just stories, they're sparks for revolution, conflict, and radical, earth-shaking change. Today, we're counting down the 5 most dangerous books ever put on paper. The idea that a stack of paper can be dangerous sounds a little strange, doesn't it? And yet history is littered with books that have challenged kings, turned society on its head, and completely reshaped our understanding of the world. We're counting down 5 books whose ideas were so potent that they lit fires that are still burning today. Number 5. The Jungle by Upton Sinclair, 1906. Coming in at number 5 is a book that was never meant to be dangerous, but ended up hitting society right where it hurts. Upton Sinclair was a journalist on a mission. He wrote The Jungle to expose the brutal labor conditions that immigrant workers faced in Chicago's meatpacking industry. He wanted to write a call to action for socialism. He was aiming for the public's heart. He missed, and instead, he hit them right in the stomach. While the story of worker oppression was there, what readers really latched onto were the horrifying, stomach-turning descriptions of what was actually going into their food. Diseased meat, chemicals, and even rats being swept right into the sausage grinders. The public outcry wasn't about socialism, it was about the disgusting, unsafe meat being sold all over America. The backlash was so massive that it became the final push needed to pass the Pure Food and Drug Act and the Meat Inspection Act that very year, forever changing food safety in the U.S. Number 4. A Vindication of the Rights of Woman by Mary Wollstonecraft, 1792. Long before anyone was using the word feminism, Mary Wollstonecraft dropped a philosophical bomb on 18th century society. In an era when women were mostly seen as decorative objects to be married off, she laid out a revolutionary idea. Women aren't naturally inferior to men, they only seem that way because they're denied an education. She argued that women are rational beings who deserve the same basic rights as men. This was a profoundly dangerous idea to the existing social and political order. Her book was instantly controversial, with one famous critic calling her a hyena in petticoats. After her death, her husband published a memoir revealing her unconventional life, and her reputation was tarnished for centuries. But her dangerous ideas laid the foundation for the women's rights movements that would change the world. Number 3. On the Origin of Species by Charles Darwin, 1859. Few books have ever so completely shattered humanity's view of itself. Darwin's masterpiece introduced the theory of evolution by natural selection, an idea that directly challenged thousands of years of religious doctrine. The concept that all life, including humans, evolves over millions of years from common ancestors was a direct contradiction to the deeply held belief that all species were created by God and fixed in place. The book was instantly controversial, igniting a fiery debate between science and religion that, in many ways, is still going on. Darwin's incredibly detailed, evidence-based work laid the groundwork for all of modern biology. But it was dangerous because it knocked humanity off its divine pedestal, forcing us to ask radical new questions about who we are and where we really come from. These are some powerful ideas, right? If you're enjoying this look at the books that shook the world, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming up next. Number 2. Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe, 1852. It's one thing for a book to cause a debate, but it's another thing entirely for a book to be blamed for starting a war. Harriet Beecher Stowe's anti-slavery novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin, did just that, by showing the human cost of slavery in a way that no one had before. The book took the abstract political debate over slavery and made it deeply personal and emotional for millions of readers in the North. It became the best-selling novel in the 19th century, second only to the Bible, and is credited with fueling the abolitionist movement in the years leading up to the Civil War. The book was so inflammatory that owning a copy was illegal in parts of the South, and it sparked a wave of anti-Tom novels written in defense of slavery. The legend goes that when Abraham Lincoln finally met Stowe during the war, he greeted her by saying, "So you're the little woman who wrote the book that started this great war." That story is probably just a legend, but the fact that it's told at all speaks to the book's incredible power to drive the North and South further apart. And at the #1 spot, we have a short political pamphlet that has caused more global conflict than almost any other text in modern history. The Communist Manifesto was a radical call for the working class to rise up and tear down the capitalist system. Its central ideas that class struggle is inevitable and private property must be abolished were absolutely explosive. The manifesto's impact was colossal. It directly inspired revolutions around the world, most famously the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, which led to the Soviet Union and set the stage for the Cold War. The book was considered so dangerous it was banned in countries all over the globe and heavily censored in the United States during the Red Scare. For its unmatched power to inspire revolution, topple governments, and redefine the global political landscape for a century, the Communist Manifesto stands as the most dangerous book ever printed. From fueling wars to redefining our place in the universe, these 5 books prove the incredible power of the written word. They show that an idea, once it's on paper, can take on its own life, unstoppable, uncontainable, and truly world-changing. What dangerous ideas do you think are being written right now that will shape the world of tomorrow? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.